Okay, well, good morning, everybody, again. Just to be mindful of our time, it seems like we have a good majority of folks registered here with us. So let's go ahead and get started. My name is Fernando, and I'm with the Region 9 Head Start Association, and I'm just excited to be your webinar host for this morning's Solutions webinar session. So if you have any questions about this session, any troubles that you may have with Zoom, any logistical questions, feel free to put them in the chat and I'll do my best to address them behind the scenes. So we can work together on getting you up and running. Just so you know, today's session will be recorded and will be made available for on-demand access within 24 hours. And once the recording is ready for be on demand, then it will be located on our YouTube channel, which a link can be found on our website. Registered participants will be receiving a total of 2 follow-up emails. One will go out as soon as we get off the call this morning with a certificate of participation if you're tracking your professional development hours. So keep an eye for that email going out right away. And then a second email will go out once the recording is ready for access. So if you do not receive either of those 2 emails, feel free to email us and contact us here at the association. We encourage your participation today. So put your questions, comments in the chat or the Q&A, and we'll be monitoring those behind the scene as well. And we'll do our very best to address them at the end of the presentation. Now I'll pass it along to my colleague, Edward Condon, for a few opening remarks, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks, everybody, and I hope you enjoy the session.
Great. Thank you, Fernando, and thanks to the University of Arizona Global Campus for joining us. On behalf of the Region 9 Head Start Association and really the entire Head Start community, I want to thank you all for joining in on this webinar this afternoon, this morning. We are so excited to have the University of Arizona Global Campus as a partner of the Region 9 Head Start Association, and in particular, to hear again from Dr. Newton Miller, who was just a wonderful presenter in his first round with us a month back, and we are excited to once again hear his concepts and beliefs and to help motivate you to do the great work that you are positioned to do every day. Here at the association, we're really passionate about the possibility of giving all families from birth to 5 the opportunities to succeed in life. We believe passionately in the work of Head Start, and we are here to elevate those efforts in communities by offering insightful webinars, membership services, and other pertinent information that will help you and the agency leadership navigate the world that's ahead of us. As we all know, this past year has been such a challenge, changes month to month in our communities and our agencies, in the families that we serve. And we know that summer is going to be, again, a time of transition as we move back into full-time face-to-face services and move toward really that full enrollment goal of seeing all children and all families served who are eligible to do so. So we support those initiatives. We seek the opportunity to provide you with professional development services and other resources so that you can succeed. We are here to promote education partnerships such as the University of Arizona Global Campus so that you are better equipped in the work that you do every day. And the partnership brings educational benefits, which they're able to offer through their vast network of services, their exceptional technology platforms, and of course, most importantly, the faculty that they bring forward within their global campus. So we're excited to be with you. We're glad that we have this partnership with the University of Arizona Global Campus. And I know that you're going to hear a little bit more about those benefits in just a moment. And then, of course, at the end of the call. So enjoy the webinar. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ed. Thanks, Fernando. Welcome again to all Head Start and early Head Start folks to today's presentation. My name is Mike. I am an education partnerships representative for the University of Arizona Global Campus. First and foremost, we hope you, your families, everyone at Head Start is staying healthy and safe. We're very excited you're joining us today. We have a great presentation lined up for you. So quickly going over the agenda for today's webinar, I will be giving you a brief overview of UAGC, as well as the education benefits available to all Head Start employees and family members. I'm then going to turn it over to our keynote speaker, Dr. Newton Miller, for his presentation, Keep It Pushing Part 2, Vision Accomplished. And again, we will try to leave some time at the end for your questions as well. Next slide, please. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. Again, I represent the University of Arizona Global Campus. UAGC is a 100% online, regionally accredited university that caters to working adult students. We've been around for almost 100 years in one form or another, and our roots go back to a brick and mortar campus in Clinton, Iowa. We transitioned to online learning about 15, 20 years ago, and today we provide 100% online education to students across the country. We have a tradition of excellence. It's led to numerous awards and recognitions over the years. All that just to say we're not a new player on the block. We've been offering quality online education to our students for a very long time. We offer 60+ degree programs. We offer them in a variety of different subjects. Again, 100% online and designed for working adult students. The slide you're looking at here, this is your landing page on our website. And the landing page is going to be a great way for you to get some more information about our programs. We're going to drop that link in the chat for you. And I would definitely encourage you to visit when you have some time. If you're looking to further your education, looking for a little more information about the school and the benefits, the landing page is a great place to start. So definitely encourage you to visit when you have some time. Next slide, please. All right, and we do offer a wide range of education degrees from associates all the way up to PhDs. Our College of Arts and Sciences offers bachelor's degree programs in areas such as early childhood education, education studies, instructional design. We also offer master's degrees in areas such as education, special education, instructional design and technology. And we also have one of the top 5 online bachelor's in child development programs in the country. Our faculty are practitioners in the field of education who bring current experiences to the classroom, and education curriculum is relevant and revised to meet the current needs of practitioners. Also want to quickly mention our Forbes School of Business and Technology. That college houses various degree programs in the areas of business, IT, HR, finance, accounting, those types of programs, which may also be of interest to Head Start employees. Next slide. All right, so we have a great tuition assistance benefit in place for all Head Start and early Head Start employees. We currently have over 500 Head Start employees across the country that take advantage of these benefits, with over 80% of them working towards a bachelor's degree with us. Again, this benefit is going to be for all Head Start employees as well as family members. So if you decide to further your education and attend UAGC, you're going to receive a 25% discount on all of your tuition. We're going to cover all of your books, all of your course materials throughout your entire program. We also waive the tech fees that we normally charge per course, and we'll also waive any prior learning assessment fees as well. So some fantastic benefits for you and possibly your family. Again, if you are looking to further your education, if you do would like some more information about UAGC, the landing page QR code is there again, and I know we dropped it in the chat, but again, just wanted to make you aware of these great benefits that are you are eligible for as an employee of Head Start. Next slide, please. So again, if you'd like to learn some more about UAGC and the benefits available to you, you can call that number on the screen there to speak with one of our advisors. You can visit that landing page link that we put in the chat. Feel free to email or call me directly. Happy to speak with folks one-on-one. Again, you can scan that QR code there to speak with one of our academic advisors as well. So lots of ways for you to get some more information if you are looking to further your education. Next slide, please. All right, so thank you for letting me just spend a couple minutes discussing UAGC with you. And now we're going to transition to our keynote speaker for today's webinar. I am honored to introduce Dr. Newton Miller. For those of you that attended Keep It Pushing Part 1, you already know what a treat you're in for today. Dr. Miller has a unique background in both traditional and non-traditional education, has numerous achievements such as the Impact Award from the Urban League of San Diego County in 2018, the Provost Award for Outstanding Faculty from Ashford University in 2014. And he has authored a book as well entitled Why Some Seeds Don't Grow. So we're very grateful to have Dr. Miller as a faculty member at UAGC. His mantra is to educate, motivate, help them grow. That's what he'll be doing here today. So without further ado, Dr. Miller, take it away.
Outstanding, outstanding. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. You guys give me a second to do that. I like to control my own slides because I ramble a lot. So if you bear with me for a second. So just as a note of information, Mike did a great job talking about all the programs we offer. Now I was with him till he started talking about Forbes. See, because I work in the Department of Education, Liberal Arts, and Forbes is the other side. So, you know, I was good with him until he started talking. No, I'm just joking. Forbes is a great piece. But one of the things that I just learned about our early childhood education programs in particular, so I'm not sure if this is 2019 or 2020 data, but I just learned this last week, actually, in a leadership meeting I was in. We have it's either first or the second largest number of graduates in early childhood education. We're the largest number of bachelor's degree producers in schools, whether online or traditional, in the whole country for early childhood education degrees. So I thought that was pretty cool. I just wanted to kind of mention that. I know that's not what I'm here for, but pulling Mike's strings a little bit too, because he mentioned Forbes, you know, when I'm about to produce, but that's okay. That's okay. That's cool. I'm not mad at him. So you guys, hey, I was in the chat while you guys were getting it set up, and I saw a couple people from Chula Vista. I saw some folks someone from Washington, someone from, I think it said Omaha, Nebraska. So, I mean, people all over the place. It's great. I lived in San Diego in Mira Mesa, actually, for a minute. And I did some work with the Chula Vista Elementary School District. So it's awesome to see you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get started. But I always like to tell folks, you know, thank you for tuning in and popping in, stopping what you're doing anytime that I, am talking, because, your time is your greatest commodity. And I know he said that before. I say it every time I speak, because I want people to realize that time is so important and is so valuable. And we have to manage what we do within that time. So, we have to protect it so much that I am so grateful, so honored whenever anyone, especially big deals like Mr. Edward Condon, stop what they're doing and come in and hear anything that I have to say from these lips of clay. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I greatly appreciate you. And hopefully before you leave, you get at least one morsel you could take with you to educate yourself, motivate yourself, and help yourself grow, because that's what it's all about, you guys. So we're going to finish up this whole Keep It Pushing series that we got going on. So this is part 2, and we created a session just for you, and it's called Vision Accomplished. Vision Accomplished. So jumping right in, we have these words. We have vision, we have goals, we have aspirations, and you guys have all heard those words before. I'm almost certain that you've heard those words before. So just when we talk about that word, a goal, if we just can stop there for a second. So that word goal, a lot of people equate to something you want to do. A goal is this thing that I want to do, and I name it, I put a stamp on it and say, that's it. That's what I want to do. So I want to challenge your definition of a goal for a minute. And I believe when many people are talking about a goal, they're thinking about some idea of a thing. It's not 100% concrete, but it's like an idea. I want to do that, right? And I say to you that that's not necessarily a goal. It's more of a dream. It's more of a vision. You see, the goal is that end point. It's that finish line. It's that tape that you cross. It's that tape that you cross at the finish line. It's that tape. It's that place that you're trying to get to. It's that final destination. It's the end toward where all your effort is directed. So it sounds like the same thing in definition. It's a slight cognitive shift. But if you know anything about cognitive shifts, when I change one thing in my thinking, it's a huge change in my actions and the things I do. So I want to take time to set the plan that we said vision accomplished, right? But you can't accomplish the vision unless you accomplish the goal. And you can't have the goal unless you have the vision. So our goals are the end toward which all of our effort is directed. And we got to be able to set those goals. So in order to have a goal, I got to have a dream or a vision. We just talked about that. That's an idea, a thing, something I want to accomplish. Then I got to have some action steps. And we'll talk about backwards design today and how to set some action steps in place in order to accomplish the goal and get to the goal. But the one thing a lot of folks leave out is accountability. You have to have some system, something in place where you're accountable and making yourself accountable for what it takes to accomplish that goal. Right. So you see this picture here of the Pact. Three African-American young gentlemen grew up in New York in a very tough neighborhood. And they didn't have a lot of role models ahead of them, but they all decided one day, they all were sitting around and said they wanted to be doctors, all three of them. So they all had a dream or a vision to be a doctor in the middle of the hood, without a lot of role models, without a lot of resources, and not a lot of folks who got out of the hood who were turning into doctors. But yet they had this dream and this vision. So I don't know if you'll agree with me or not, but let me ask you like this in the chat. Put a number one, just the number one, if you think having that dream was enough for them to become doctors. If you think they needed more, if you think that was enough, then go ahead and just put a number one in there. If you think it's not enough, then put a number two. So having that dream, that vision, that's enough to become a doctor, put a number one. If you need more than just that dream and that vision, then put a number two in the chat for me. So I'm looking through, I see some ones, I see some twos, I see a lot of twos. There you go. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So they need more than just that dream or that vision to become that doctor. So here's what happened. They got together and they decided to research what's it take to become a doctor. So they went to the hospital and they asked someone. They went to the guidance counselor and they asked someone. They went in the library. They found out what's it take to become a doctor. And they wrote that down somewhere, the three of them, right? And then here's what they did, which was ingenious. They didn't even know that they were doing this, but they made a pact with each other. And that pact simply said, we're going to hold each other to the fire so that we accomplish this. Before it's all said and done, we're going to be our brother's keeper. We're going to be responsible to each other and responsible for each other to become doctors. So they had a dream and a vision. They found out what it took to become doctors, put some action steps in place, and they started working together to keep each other motivated, each other dedicated, to help remove obstacles, do whatever it took so that each of them were accountable to the steps that it took to become that doctor. And guess what? They reached that goal. Each of them became doctors. Here's the deal. When they graduated from high school, they all went to the same high school. All three of them ended up at different universities. They all ended up at different universities. So no matter what it took, even with that distance, they stayed in touch. They did what and you got to remember, they didn't have text and stuff like when these guys were doing it. So the cell phone thing was a little different than it is now. But they made it possible to motivate and encourage each other, to keep each other accountable to accomplish their goals. They're all doctors. They wrote some books and did some things, and they help other young folks now. But I wanted to start with that to say, you got to make a pact. You got to make a pact with yourself, and you're going to need an accountability partner somewhere along the line. So why is it important to have goals? Well, first of all, the goals give you direction. I already told you it's the finish line. It's that thing to which you're directing all your effort. So it tells you, this is the way we need to go. And it's always yelling that at you. That's what goals do, right? And here's the deal. Because a goal has accountability built into it, it helps you keep track. It helps you be able to know, am I moving closer? Am I getting farther away? Did I go too much to the left, to the right? Am I going fast enough? Am I going too slow? Am I growing? Am I developing? So goals are important because it gives you a direction, it gives you a purpose, it gives it a meaning, keeps you on task and productive. but it lets you also evaluate your progress along the way, so you can know whether you're making progress and contributing to yourself or whatever organization it is that you're a part of. So because this is Head Start, and most of us have children, I figured I'd leave this slide in. I talk to education institutions a lot. And so what's the parent's role in helping their children set goals and learn how to set goals so that they accomplish them, and not just be dreamers, but actually goal attainers, right? So if you have children on the elementary level, right, your job is to facilitate that process of the whole goal achievement thing that's going on. So I'm saying, as an old principle, it's facilitate, not do it for them. Don't do their science fair project for them. Don't do their online work for them because you don't want the teacher on your case. Don't color that in or tape that or what. Allow them to do it. You facilitate the process. So what process are you facilitating? You're making sure that they're on task. So when they're doing the things that they're supposed to be doing, they're doing that and not something else. They're on task. You're making sure that they're on target. In other words, do they understand what it is that they need to do? And do they understand what it's going to take from them and how to do it? Are they on target, moving towards accomplishing that goal? And are their needs met? In other words, do they have everything they need to accomplish to stay on task so that they can accomplish whatever that target is? And here's the most important one, and that's why it's in red on the slide. You are the positive reinforcement engine. You are the greatest influence in your children's lives. I know it doesn't feel like it or seem like it all the time, but you are the greatest individual influence in your children's lives. They're hearing, seeing, mimicking, and doing the opposite of what it is you want them to do. And you're the greatest influence. So your positive reinforcement to your students, to your children, it kind of breaks up the ground and plants seeds in them that might not grow today, but eventually they will grow and train up some really productive adults. So positive reinforcement is something that you are going to want to put in place and do. Find things to praise about your children. You want to see them as a glass half full. You want to see them as moving and accomplishing and doing great things, and not always focusing on what they can do a little better. So that's on the elementary level. You're the facilitator, right? Not the doer, the facilitator. So you're closer to the task. You're a little more hands-on. When it comes to the secondary, folks, you step back a little. You move back a little from them and you're monitoring. So you're still making sure they're on task. You're still making sure they're on target, that all their needs are met. You're still pouring on positive reinforcement, pouring it on, finding ways to praise them. But you're monitoring. You're not as invasive. You're checking in once a week. So you don't have to every day, all right, show me. Where's your homework? Pull out your book bag. Show me online. Did you do it? I need to see that it's finished. It's not that much. It's not that facilitating piece. It's more kind of monitoring. Maybe I'll check it once a week. Maybe we'll have a different conversation. So it's more about trust. It's more about training, releasing responsibility onto the child. The same thing is in play as if you're an educator. Depending on the level of education. So for your early childhood children that you deal with, you're going to be more in that facilitating mode. You're going to be a lot closer to the task. And for each individual task, you'll go from facilitator to monitor until they can take it on themselves. So I think you're getting the point, but I wanted you to see your role in the goal setting and the goal achievement piece. And why am I showing that? Because when it comes to you need someone to take a role to help you as an accountability partner as well. So depending on where you are in your journey of setting goals, accomplishing a thing, or whatever the case may be, you're going to need an accountability partner that acts as a beginning partner, a beginning accountability partner. So what they're going to do is they're going to remind you to do stuff. Yay, did you, Newt, did you do those things. Did you do this? Did you contact that person yet? Did you make that website? Did you create that flyer? Did you do that commercial? Did you post? And then, kind of ensure that it's done. Come back and check with you. So remind you that something needs to be done, and then come back and kind of check with you, and then reinforce you when you do a thing. So that beginning accountability partner is very similar to that parent who was, more of a facilitator. But as you start to move along, so I'm going to ask you to use the chat right here. So in the chat, I'm going to say something, Newton's first law, and I want to see how many can finish off Newton's first law for me. So in the chat, I want you to mention, so if I say a body at rest, what would you say according to Newton's first law? A body at rest does what? Can you place that in the chat for me? Because I'm not seeing the chat. Where's it at? Okay, there it is. In the chat, if I say a body at rest, what would you say? How would you finish that off? I might have lost chat ability because I don't even see any numbers in the chat any long. Oh, man, that sucks. So anyway, a body at rest stays at rest, right? And Newton's first law says a body at motion stays in motion. So when it comes to your goals, it comes to the things that you're accomplishing, the same principle applies. If you're at rest, you'll stay at rest. Nothing will ever get accomplished. But once you get moving, at first, you're going to need that beginning accountability partner to remind you, ensure you, and give you positive reinforcement. But as you break that inertia and start moving along your way in your journey to accomplish your goals, here's what's going to happen. That accountability partner now switches from beginning to what I call a sustaining partner. So they want to sustain the motion that you built. A body in motion stays in motion, according to Newton's first law. So they'll switch from reminding you to do stuff to encouraging you. Have you thought about such and such? I like the way you're doing this, but have you thought about that? I heard of this app. I heard of this resource. I heard of these people, those group over there. They might need your services. Maybe you should add this into your mix so you can encourage you to refine what you're doing. Step it up a pace, make it even better than it was, right? And keep you focused on your why. Why is that so important? Because as we move along in accomplishing our goals, we can tend to get focused away from our why we started the goal in the first place onto what it is that we're trying to do and how what we're doing is affecting us. Once we switch over into the what and the how, we start to lose some tenacity, some momentum, and actually some quality in what it is that we're trying to produce. I don't care what it is, what product that is, and on what level, whether it's a service or a product. When we stop focusing on our why, then we start to lose our rigor and our relevance to the thing that we're trying to accomplish. So that sustaining accountability partner helps you focus on why you're doing this in the first place. And of course, they reinforce. They're your cheerleader. They're on your side. They're right behind you. Now, they're going to tell you when you're wrong, but they're going to really tell you when you're right. So I have a poll for you right now. I'd like to ask, listening to those two types of accountability partners, which type of partner will benefit you the most for where you are in your journey and any goal that you're trying to accomplish? Which one of those accountability partners matches you most? Would you benefit from the most? A beginning partner or a sustaining partner, or maybe both, because you have a few things going on. And if you're not sure, then that's cool too. So go ahead and fill out that poll. We probably have enough. We got enough in there yet for the poll to kind of see what we have. Whenever you're ready to click it. Oh, you know what? The chat came up for me. There it is. It was hiding. Oh, I'm in love now. Stays at rest. Thank you, guys. Oh, the chat's back. I'm happy. All right. So both. We have folks that say they need both. That's a super excellent answer. And that could mean that you have several things going on in your life. and you need one type of accountability for this one thing and another type of accountability for another. And I also see a lot of sustaining. Now that's fabulous. And to your leaders that are on here watching, that means that you have some people who are productive. You have some go-getters and some doers. That means that sustaining means that they know that they are already accomplishing something and need to keep something going. And to my beginning folks, my hat's off to you, because the hardest thing to do is to get started. So excellent, 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 excellent. So let's see, I'm going to move on, you guys. So what's the goal of goals? So I told you why it's important to have a goal. We told you about accountability partners. We even told you about the components of a goal, you know, dream, vision, action plan, accountability. So why is it important to have, what is the goal of goals? I don't care whatever goal you have, the goal of that goal is to build in you a growth mindset. So you say, wait a minute, Miller, I thought the goal is to accomplish the dream, the vision, whatever I have. No, that's a byproduct of the goal. Here's what happens. When you accomplish a goal, you are teaching yourself to have what's called a growth mindset. You're saying, okay, I may have presently struggled with a thing, but I learned how to accomplish that thing and to conquer it. So that means when the next things come, I can do that as well. A goal is success, and success begets success. So the goal of goals is to make sure you can always do a thing whenever a thing occurs. If you know anything, I listen to a lot of self-help books and things of that sort, and leadership stuff and financial stuff. And everyone I listen to, I don't care who they are, they all say, listen, if a millionaire loses $1 million today, they're okay, because they've made $1 million before. They know how to do it again, and they will. The goal of goals is to make sure you can always accomplish what's next by building a growth mindset. Well, you're saying, well, what's a growth mindset? Well, a growth mindset says basically, you know, something was tough for me to do. So I kind of identify where I am. I come to grips with what I can do. I own what I can do, and I own what I can't do, what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. But I don't say just because I'm not good at it, I can never do it. What I say is I'm not good at it, so I presently struggle with this thing right now. And you know what? I'm going to apply myself. I'm going to get the resources I need. I'm going to get the help. I'm going to ask the questions. I'm going to put in the dedication and the work so I can get better at this thing. That's what a growth mindset is. Identifying where you are, owning it, and then you set a target, you set a goal, and you start to work towards that goal. Now, here's the deal, why I set appropriately challenging targets. There's a thing called the zone of proximal development. Zone of proximal development. So it's from an educational psychologist named Lev Vygotsky. So he has the zone of proximal development. And if you can see my hands, there's a range. So what you want to do is you want to stay in that range. You don't want to do something that's so easy that it's no effort for you because you don't grow. But you don't want to do something that's so hard that it's just out of your reach and you get frustrated and you give up. You want to stay right in that zone of proximal development. So that means you got to be honest with what you can do and what's tough for you to do. And you have to have the courage to put yourself right in the middle. So when I do my workout, I don't go do 10 push-ups because I could do way more than 10. You know, I get in my zone and I say to myself, the work doesn't start until you get tired. So identifying where you are, setting those targets, then you create a plan to accomplish that target. And then the biggest part of the growth mindset is assess yourself. Am I meeting the target? Am I producing? Am I doing what I said I can do? And it's not, you know, so we get stuck in school and we praise someone for their effort. That's great, but I need you to learn it so you can do it when I'm gone or when you leave this place. So that's that assessment system. So the goal of goals is to build that growth mindset in you. And one of the ways you can do that with the time that you're given, because we're all given 24 hours a day, right? It doesn't matter who you are. We have 24 hours a day on how much money you have, how much money you don't have, where you grew up, what color you are, whatever. We all have 24 hours. That's why I try to stay away from saying time management, because management means that I can move resources from one place to another. So I can't really manage time, but I can manage what I do in the time that I'm given. So one of the methods that I put in place and I've learned to manage the time that I have, to manage myself and what I do within the time that I have, is called the Pomodoro method. And you can Google this. And basically what it says is you pick one task, whatever that task is, and you dedicate 25 to 30 minutes to that task. Cycles of 25 to 30 minutes, no more than that. After that 30 minutes per se, you get up and you take a break, walk around your house, go put the laundry from the washing machine to the dryer. I don't know, walk outside, do 20 jumping jacks, whatever. Do something for 2 to 5 minutes, reset yourself, and then you jump back in that cycle for 30 more minutes. When in that 30 minutes, man, you're dedicating that time, you're focused, you're in that thing, right? You do that 4 cycles, 25 on, 2 to 5 off, 25 on, 2 to 5 off. You do that 4 times, right? And after that 4th time, if you were with me in the last session, I told you about something called the commit calendar cross method. So you get a calendar or you get a checklist or whatever it is that you make, and you check that off. Boom, boom. I made 1 full Pomodoro method cycle. That's 4 times I did 30 minutes and took 2 to 5 minute breaks. So in an average day, you will get in, 4, maybe a little more than 4, somewhere around that time of Pomodoro cycles. And you'll be able to track that. And you'll be able to see, I've spent my time on task this much time, for this amount, depending on how many cycles you completed. And then you can look at what you've accomplished and you can map the two together to know that you're effectively using your time. All right. So 35 minutes, 30 minutes on, 2 to 5 minute break. You do that 4 times. After that 4 times, you take a little longer break. You give yourself a little longer reset. Then you come back in, then you mark it off and you come back in and you're able to track yourself a little better. So let me skip back around with you here. So whenever you're setting goals on any level, and I know I'm giving you guys a lot today, I'm going real fast here. Whenever you set a goal, I don't care whatever industry it is, I don't care whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, there's 4 essential questions, and this is based on research. There's 4 essential questions that you need to ask. First of all, why? Why do I want to do this thing? Why do I want to accomplish this thing? You'll hear me say all the time, what is my why? There's a good book you can check out or even check out some of the hacks of the book online. Simon Sinek has a book that says starting with why. Talks about the golden circle and things of that sort. Why? That's the first question, right? Second question is, well, what do I want? What is it that I want to produce? What is it that I want to accomplish? What's this all about? So I'm setting a goal. Why do I want to do this goal? What is it do I want to accomplish? The third question is, okay, so how will I get it? How will I get it done? What's the process going to be? What are the action steps? How do I make this happen? How do I make that happen? How do I manifest this? So what, why, what, how? And then the 4th question is your accountability. So when do I want this done? Is this a future goal? Is this a right now goal? Is there a timeline on it? When does it have to get done? When are the pieces of it? When do I expect this to manifest and be accomplished in my life? So why, what, how, and when? Got another quick poll for you. I want to check in real quick. So of those 4 essential questions, which one is most important to you? Of those 4 essential questions, thank you for putting that poll up, sir. Which one is most important to you? Go ahead and click the box. Why do I want it? What do I want to accomplish? How will I get it? How will it get accomplished? And when do I want it? When do I want this thing to manifest? Or are all of them essential questions for you? All right, all right. I'm sure you guys are clicking away. They're like, man, I just want to kind of double multitask here. This guy's asking us to talk in the chat, to click stuff. I forgot to remind you guys, I am ADHD and I talk fast and break all the rules of public speaking. So if you're still with me, I appreciate you. What do we have for the poll? Do we have anything there yet? All right. I see some all of the above as important questions. All the above, and what's the 2? We got 18% for how. Excellent, excellent, excellent. We got some what's and we have some 9, 15%. Why do I want it? So, okay, so your answers are valid answers and your answers apply to you, but I'm going to tell you what research says. Research tells you that the most important question that you can ask in your goal setting process, anywhere in it, in the beginning, middle, or end of it, is why. Why do I want to accomplish this goal? Why? Because that why is what has the Venn diagram or touches every other area of the spokes on the wheel of your life. And your why is what decides and determines the type of impact and the influence that that goal that you're trying to accomplish is going to have on the world around you. So remember, we're accomplishing goals so we can put ourselves in position to offer a service or to do a thing that is going to impact the world around us. That's kind of what that's about. So excellent, excellent, excellent. So I'm going to now tell you 5 results, proven techniques and methods that you can adopt, that you can put in place so that you can set your goals, identify them, begin to come up with your action plan and your accountability system so you can track your progress all the way from beginning to accomplishing that goal, crossing that finish line. The first one I want to give you is what I'm going to call e-visual systems. E-visual systems or electronic systems, since we're in such a computer-driven world. So I'm going to say this to you. So the K-12 world is probably never going to return back to how it was. So how it was is people went into a school, a teacher gave instruction, and then students went home. COVID hit, and we came up with ways to instruct students remotely. University of Arizona Global, we've been doing that before COVID, but nevertheless, that's kind of what's taking place. So I stay close to schools. My youngest son is also a principal at a school. And now what's kind of happening is that schools are going back in to the classroom, but in some type of hybrid manner. Maybe 3 days a week and every other day is distance, or 4 days a week and there's a distance day, or they're offering students and parents options. You can do online, or you can do face-to-face. So I'm not sure that K-12 is going to return to how it ever was fully before. As a matter of fact, as an administrator, I probably don't want it to, because I'm still getting my per diems. I still have my budget. I can still make everything work, but I don't have students in my building, 1,100 middle school students in my building that I have hands-on with every day. So I might like this new evolution of our society a little bit. Just want to throw that out there to you. But so I put 2 tools in there that are more basically for classrooms, but I'm going to tell you how my wife and I use them for the things we do with our businesses and things of that sort. So Class Dojo, you may have heard of, and Seesaw, you may have heard of. There are paid versions of this and there are free versions. So a lot of times as educators, and this is something you could do with your early childhood students as well, you can set up classrooms of Class Dojo or Seesaw, and you can have parents log in, or you could do it with your own children and set up schedules and things of that sort. You could put resources in there for them to be able to accomplish a task that you want them to do. You could put reminders in there that the task is almost due. You can talk back and forth to each other. It's like a closed kind of chat system. I need help with such and such. How do I do such and such? You can explain things. So these Class Dojo and Seesaw applications are super management systems to help you kind of outline what it takes to accomplish a thing, and then keep yourself accountable as you mark off the milestones to do that. My wife and I do it with our businesses, because oftentimes she's moving in one direction and I'm moving in another, but there's some things we do together. So I log into Seesaw, we use at least once a day, and I can see what she's done on some of the tasks that we're trying to accomplish together, and she can see what I've done, and we can ask questions to each other and keep up to our schedules. So Google Assistant has something called Family Bell, which is another free app you can download. You can do that within your family. Again, set schedules. There's bells and reminders. You can put videos to show them how to do it. I mean, there's motivators, there's faces and there. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you could do. So my point is this: you need an e-visual system if that's your thing, a more electronic. And this system helps you to not only identify what it is you want to do, but to put the steps in place that it is to accomplish that thing, and some system of accountability. So somebody's watching and you're watching each other to make sure it gets done. So you can access it and see what you're doing. Then if you're old school like me, you got the hard copy visual system. You know, you got that cork board on the wall, or you have that. I have all around my office here, I have chart paper hanging on the walls with different projects and different things I'm doing. And that's kind of how I think. You can go out to Google and download stuff, or you can create your own. But somewhere on a closet door, on a wall, on a refrigerator, somewhere you have some hard copy system that you can look at, see what it is you're trying to accomplish, what the category of the thing is you're trying to accomplish. I don't know, my category might be on getting better at Zoom presentations, right? And then my goal statement is, you know, what do I want to do? I want to keep people more engaged and use the tool better so that, you know, the presentation is nice and pretty. And then I have a why. So why do I want to do that? Because my team is remote and I need to make sure that they stay connected to what we're doing and continue with our why and still stay motivated. Then I write the steps that I need to do in order to get better at that goal. So I'm going to attend Stephen Covey's distance presentation seminars and the free seminars from Zoom. And then I'm going to say, how's it measured? So I'm going to, first of all, check off that I did those presentations and those trainings. And then every time I have a presentation, I'm going to ask my team, you know, how did it go? I'm going to give them a survey. Would they rather do it this way or that way? What can change? You know, things of that sort. So some type of hard copy visual system where you can access it right away. So you got e-visual and hard copy visual. Here's another system you can use, something called the 4 goal system. So you're going to pick 4 categories or areas in your life. So I have 4 example ones up there: family, friends, health, school, and career. And then you're going to write what you can do. So that's kind of like what you want to accomplish. So in your in family, I can, I don't know, spend more family time without electronic devices. I don't know, whatever the case may be. You have some kind of something you want to do, and then how will you do that? And you write that in an affirmative statement. I will, and whatever your steps are going to be. So you're talking about one sentence, not a lot. And then underneath that square, underneath that, you see why and when. So why do I want to do this? Why do I want to accomplish this thing? You give a few words for that. And then by when do I want to measure whether this is working or there's a change? So you can do that in 4 different areas. We call it the 4 goal system. Again, you post that somewhere. You can see it all the time. The most important part of this system is you put your name in the center. Your name. That means you are accountable. These are your responsibility. These are coming from you. These are important to you. These matter to you. And you are the most important person in the universe. So what you're doing is very important too. Here's another one for you. And I'm going to try to say this one without tearing up. So I used to, when I took on my first charge as a high school principal, I had the freshman class, and I went to the superintendent. We got some budget. We got a budget to separate the freshmen from the rest of the high school students. It was an urban city high school. We had like a 40% graduation rate. And I knew that if we continue to mix our freshmen with the rest of the high school, that graduation rate wouldn't change too much. So I said, how about we have a freshman academy? So in that freshman academy, we mixed in the social studies and in language arts. We mixed in some goal setting and some planning and some things about life and you know, looking forward and you know, getting ready for next, and you know, and some positivity statements and affirmations. We mixed a lot of stuff in, and here's the tool that we created called the goal staircase. So you see it says milestone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be 50 milestones, it could be 3 milestones, but here's the deal: you start with where you want to go. So you see a milestone 5, suppose you want to be a doctor, so you start with doctor. And now you do the research to see what it takes to be a doctor. So from doctor, I got to go to med school. Before med school, I got to take the MCATs. Before MCATs, I got to get my degree. Before I get my degree, I got to go to high school, then middle school. So you back up all the way to where you are. And then once you get to where you are, knowing what you need to do to walk up that staircase, you start accomplishing those milestones forward. And every time you accomplish a milestone, you give yourself a star. You give yourself a celebration, whatever it is. But that celebration is not long and you stop. It's just enough for you to celebrate yourself and you jump back on the horse and you keep it moving. So once you get to that final milestone, you have accomplished what it is that you need to accomplish. So of course you write your goal statement in the box, whatever your goal is. And why I say this one without tears, those freshmen, and this was an urban, a lot of Black and Latino young men, man, when they finished what's called their senior project, right? Many of them would come running to me. I mean, I'm talking about big, strong, streetwise young men, Mr. Miller, and they're reaching in their pocket, pulling out a piece of paper, unfolded. Look, I got my gold staircase. I did them. I did all of them. My brothers didn't graduate, but I did. I made each milestone on my staircase. And you can see the pride and the joy in them. You can see why I get emotional about it. But they finished what they started, all because somebody taught them. Find the milestones and take them one by one. And this will work for you too. The last one I want to show you is called a vision board. This is actually my vision board. So what you do is you look at your life, you step back. Again, you put yourself in the middle because you are important. You're the center. You're the one that needs to make this happen. And what you're going to do is you're going to divide your life into pieces, and you will then put on that vision board a visual of what it is that you need or are trying or are going to accomplish. And the reason why you put those visuals there is because now you've connected your right brain to your left brain. So it's no longer just an idea or a concept out in space somewhere. You've now made it logical, sequential. When you connect it two sides of your brain, now you can see it. And if you can see it, then you're more likely to do what it takes to be it. So for instance, mine down the bottom, you see educational pursuits. So I'm working on something right now called the Center for Educating at Potential Populations, where I'll make a center and put a lot of information in there so educators like yourself and others can more affirmably educate at potential populations. There's podcasts and things that I'm working on for, at potential communities for Black men and self-development to take control of your own life, to make some change. There's some books I'm writing. So you take that vision board and you put it somewhere. So you see my eyes go off in the corner. That's where it is on my wall. So it's just over the right side of my computer on the wall. The wall's like across the room. Now I can't read it from here, but I can kind of see the pictures and I know what it says. So those couple of 100 times that I kind of look up from my computer, there it is. It's in my mind. I'm moving towards it. So you create that vision to connect your right brain with your left brain, and you are now able to talk about all those things on your vision board. You can put together an elevator speech for each of these things to talk about it in 30 seconds or less, right? And be able to keep yourself engaged in what it is that you need to do, as well as get others interested in what it is you need to do. And then you go back every now and then and you connect with it. So I can now see, I see my then, what I'm trying to accomplish when I look at the vision board. And I now can see what are my actions today to help me get to my then. Are they lining up? If not, then I need to adjust what I'm doing now so I can be where I see myself then. Right. And then, of course, you revisit that thing often to keep yourself accountable. So real quick, I know I've got to go. I got like a minute, maybe, or 2 minutes left. But I want to do this quick poll because I think this is the most important one. You go ahead and put the poll up. So which of these goal setting tools that I just gave you, the 5 of them, which is most appealing to you? Which one are you going? I'll talk while you're clicking it up. Which one you think you're going to try? Which one do you think you're just going to see? Is this Miller guy? Does this work? Does this make sense? Which one can you try, download, make for yourself to see if it's going to work? Now, while you're doing that, I'm going to tell you this. Sometimes you might try one system And you might have to add some steps to it or add some pieces to it to customize it to you. That's fine. Or you might start with one system. I started with the e-visual system and I kept forgetting to look at it. So I had to go back to the hard copy because I'm old school and put it on the wall where I can't miss it. So you might start with one and change to the other because you learn more about yourself as you go. That means the tool's working. So just to say that to you, that's okay. Don't force yourself to do something that's not working for you. You adjust it to make it work. Can we see what the results of the poll are? I'm curious with this one. The vision board. Okay. Excellent. Vision board is first. What do we have here? The goal staircase. That's another great one. I almost dropped a tear or two on you guys for when I was talking about that one, because I could see them young men running up to me talking about, I did it. Oh my goodness, it just does something to me. The four square goal is a great one. Hard copy is my hard copy and vision board are my two go-tos. Maybe because I'm so old, right? And that e-visual system, I'd be real interested to know the 5 who said that. Like, what are you millennials or Gen Xers? Yeah, I'd be interested. But that's another question for another time. Hey, you guys, I'm going to get out of your way, but I want to leave you with this thought. I want you to understand that we talk about dreams and vision as concepts or ideas. And we talked about goals as that concrete thing that you accomplished. So here's a way for you to keep it in your mind. Your goals are like arrows. There's a target down the field that you want to hit that target down the field, right? And I'm an archer and I want to hit that target with this arrow down the field, right? My arrow is the dream. My arrow is that concept, that idea, that dream, that vision that I shoot out into the atmosphere, pointed towards that specific target. And in order to make that arrow go, I need a bow. So when I draw back the string on that bow, right? What draws it back? It's my desire. It's my level of the desire. How much do I want this? What am I willing to sacrifice to do this? So your dreams are the arrows. Your desire is the bow, but it's the goal itself. It's the action plan and the accountability that shoots that dream, that propels it downfield so it can hit the target that it's meant for. That's the difference between dreams, visions, and goals. Your desire, your accountability plan, and your action plan that you put in place. So you got to ask yourself, do I want to be a dreamer or a world changer? Because the only difference between dreams and goals is your action and the accountability you put behind it. So guess what? The ball's back in your court. I'm Dr. Newt, and hopefully you grab some more so you could take with you to educate yourself, motivate yourself, and help yourself grow. And as usual, my friends, make it a great day or not, because that choice is always yours. I went a little long. I don't know if we have time for questions and answers or not, but you see my contact information on the screen now. You see my phone number and my email. There's my website. I'm on LinkedIn, and there's my YouTube channel where you can get some minute motivation. You have any questions, you want to try something, you want to work it out, put it in place, please feel free to contact me. I love to help, love to be a part. And hopefully you got something out of this. Mike, I'm going to turn it back to you and get out the way.
All right, thanks so much, Dr. Miller. Thank you for that fantastic presentation. Yeah, as you mentioned, we are at time, so we want to be respectful of everyone's time today. So we'll go ahead and wrap up. Thank you, Ed and Fernando, for your support and helping to facilitate today's session. Thank you again, Dr. Miller, for the fantastic presentation. Most of all, thanks to everyone who joined us today for taking time out of your day to attend today's session. Really appreciate you joining us today. Again, reach out to Dr. Miller with any questions you might have for him. Be sure to visit the Head Start landing page on our website if you're considering furthering your education with us. And just want to thank again everyone for joining today, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.